I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jackie. Welcome back to Dumb Witch Club.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome back!
Welcome
literally.
back to me.
I know, you've been gone. We've been gone. She's been gone.
Yeah.
I've been here, just not doing Dumb Witch Club.
Yeah. I was gone, traipsing around.
You did.
Yeah.
World traveler. Whatever.
Whatever, Some of us just have it like that, I guess.
She brought me presents, so I'm not mad.
Yes. Really, interesting presents.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely, I don't know if I'd say haunted presents, but you can tell that they've been touched by the spirit world.
The presents have been touched by a haunted presence.
Yes. That's a good use of...
It's clever. How did I come up with that? I'm so tired.
I know. Well, jet lag will do that to you when you're part of the jet set.
I guess so. Whatever. I'm back.
Anyways, let's do a card pull.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm feeling very, I don't even know what now all of a sudden.
Like worldly and cosmopolitan.
Something.
I love that. We really look cute. We always look cute, but we look very, I don't know. I feel like we're embracing all of that.
I know. And then I feel like we plan our outfits to a degree. Yeah. You bring things and I pick something out, but this really worked.
Yeah, this is giving. I'm not sure exactly what it's giving, but it's giving.
I'll take it.
A lot of people would take it.
Well, only some actually get to.
That's right. That's right. Only some.
The lucky few.
The lucky few.
Ooh, I can't wait to pull a card. So this is the Passages Oracle deck.
Yes, I neglected to mention that.
One of our favorites.
Yes, this deck.
We love this deck.
All right, why don't I pick?
Ooh, but you... okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm coming with some...
And I'm not even going to shuffle these through again. I'm going to leave them the way you left them and you get to pick.
All right. Mm-hmm. It's an interesting way to go about things, but you know what? I like it.
No rules here.
No rules. Time.
Ooh.
Time.
It's like
time.
One of those circle hypnotizing circle thingies.
Yeah, like the Twilight Zone.
A little bit.
Deal.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've been having these conversations about time. Mm-hmm. And that everyone was going to be they really are dumb witches because they were ew, the time is going so slow. Which we were doing. And then they're going to be and then they're well, how come it's May? Well, because
time
is a construct and we don't know it.
That is true. And that is why it feels fast and it feels slow and you can't believe what has passed. And then when something's going to happen, you just don't know. It's not real.
No, because it was slow and everything, right? And then, whenever we're apart, it feels slow because we miss each other.
So much.
So slow. But then it's also fast because it's I had whatever trip I had and it's and that's done now?
Yeah, you did that whole thing.
The whole thing is done. That whole massive thing is over.
Now, see, and that's why, you truly, time is just such a weird thing. And I think, everything's actually happening all at once.
Yeah, that's true, which is a little bit, I don't know. I don't handle that thought very well.
I know.
That's kind of freaky.
I know.
Really?
Yeah, because it's not linear. It's just the way our brains can understand it is through a linear logic.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's true.
Also, why do I feel and maybe you don't feel the same, and I want to know what you think, but why do I feel this card is meant to be encouraging, you have the time. The time is fine.
Oh, yeah.
You're, in due time, in good time,
yeah.
The time is right.
I love that.
Okay, I hope that's true.
Yes, it feels that way to me. I know we're talking about time being a construct and it's all weird bizarro, but this has not a bad vibe at all.
No, I didn't pull it and be oh God, I'm running out.
No. And it's I don't know, if time is a construct, who cares? Mm-hmm. Do what you want whenever you want, and if you don't, it'll happen later. Who cares?
Yeah, and it'll happen later.
Who cares?
Who cares? It'll happen and then it'll pass and then that's not going to last forever. So that's the other thing too. It's all right, this is just the time for this, but that's not forever.
That's right. So yeah, good, bad, everything's temporary. So enjoy it if it's good and you'll get past it if it's bad.
And if not, and then it's kind of the Twilight Zone and that's okay too and whatever. Yeah. I don't know.
No, it's true.
Who knows?
I don't know. That was fun. It was an interesting conversation sparked by that card. And yeah, we'll see.
All right. That's fine. I can get behind that.
It's a good card pull.
It's a good card pull. I always put the lid on this thing and then I can't get the lid off. All right, just stacking them. I'm over it. I don't have the time.
Quick, let's get on to the next.
I don't have the time. Okay.
Why though?
Whoa.
Why though?
Simultaneous time. Everything's about time.
So, yeah, why though? We're in the month of May, still jolly old May.
Jolly old May.
That's a thing that people say.
Is that a thing that people say?
Yeah, I just
You said it, so I suppose it's a thing that people say because you just said it.
And I'm a person.
You are, well, you're an angel is what you are. So I don't know if I quite agree with you're a people.
Okay.
People doesn't quite fit the bill with you, darling.
Anyways, okay. Let's talk about why though.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I feel like we're kind of quirky, and I feel like the reason why is because it's Gemini season.
Oh, you're right.
Which, me as a little Gemini rising fairy, I really appreciate that. So I'm happy about it.
No, but you're right. And that's why there's like all this, silly turns of phrase and all of this, right? It's just kind of like anything goes.
Yes, it's sassy.
Yes.
And I enjoy it.
Yes.
It's cute. Yeah, like, what are we thinking and what are we saying about it? And like, how are we saying it? And we're being cute. And like, let's have fun. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's very cute. And I also have a cat that's a Gemini.
Oh, Jesus.
And that's a whole other story. But yeah, it's Gemini season. So
it's going to be wild when she fully realizes that it's Gemini season.
I don't know. Can't handle that.
No.
Yeah. But I will. I will handle it. There's plenty of time to handle that. But yes, so okay, Gemini season. That's actually exciting. It feels nice. I love, whatever. Love all the times. Love all the signs, right? Like we always say.
Totally.
But I think Taurus season can feel a little bit heavy.
It can. It's nice. It's a nice change of pace when it happens.
Yes, because you're coming out of that Aries season, which is just so like rapid fire,
Go, and it's like, what do you want? And you're like, I don't know what I want.
Yeah,
it's nice. And then Taurus is like, you know what, just have some snacks. Like, have snacks and like lay down. So it feels nice, but it starts to get a little bit like, okay, but what about like
but what
summer?
What are we doing?
Hot human summer, whatever we're calling it.
Yes, no, and I think this is why, just a reminder again, this is why the wheel of the year exists. This is why the wheel of the zodiac exists, because it's bringing us different things throughout the year that we need, and we can embody them and resonate with them, and then we can be ready to move on into something else.
And we're always ready to do that as humans. We're just, we always want something else.
No, it's true.
But
so,
whatever.
Okay, exciting. Entering Gemini season. What else?
Yes, and then on May 23rd, we have a full moon. And it's not just any full moon. It's a full moon in Sagittarius.
Oh, that's so glorious.
I know, I love it. It's very adventurous.
Yes, and as usual, the full moon is in the polarity sign of the sun. That's how you get a full moon, people.
Right.
But the Sagittarius Gemini polarity is so lively and so exciting and so much fun. I feel like they really they're offering you different, places, but they're really bouncing off of each other in a really playful way.
I agree. It's fun. It's a good thing. Yep. And it's just so expansive because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So you have this very what could you possibly experience? And it's a fun thing. I like it.
See, and speaking of Jupiter, right? Jupiter has a sign change coming up as well.
That's right.
So I feel like that's really just going to add more magnification to this energy.
Yeah, and it's a really positive, fun, optimistic energy. Yes. It's not what's the worst case scenario? It's what's the best case scenario?
See, and that's Jupiter going into Gemini.
Yeah.
And as we know, Jupiter being that big, huge planet is really about expansiveness and magnifying and amplifying. And being in that Gemini sign, it's kind of the playful, the fun, the busy, the energetic. It's just a big, just a big ball of life.
I know, I love it. It's fun.
I love it too.
It's good. You should pay attention to this one. I know you can't pay attention to every lunation. You can't pay attention to every shift, whatever's going on. There's a lot of things. and we talk about a lot of things every week and whatever. But this one, you should. It's very positive. It's really, you can just embrace like anything you're kind of thinking for like the immediate future or like a little bit long-term future. It's just like a really good time to like break away of some patterns, but also really embrace like what are you dreaming of and what do you want, and like even if it's just for your summer season or something, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like I remember this from last year as well. Whatever things were happening around what ends up being this like Memorial Day weekend in the United States.
Yeah.
It's like this fun, adventurous, kind of exciting energy. And so a lot of you, if you're lucky enough to have, you know, extra days off or taking time to like do something fun, like it just really aligns with that. And even if you're not doing all of that, if you're just staying home and doing your usual thing, like you can bring that energy to whatever it is.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's like the kickoff of like warmer weather.
That's true. Supposedly. Hopefully.
Supposedly. I know. It's been weird, but yeah.
Okay. Anything final there?
We have a last quarter moon at the end of the month. May 30th, we have a last quarter moon in Pisces. I just put down let go and let goddess.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's good. It's like a little bit emotional, but not in like a super, super heavy way. And it's like, you know, just release anything last stuff you need to get rid of.
Yeah, I feel like with that, I mean, Pisces can really just be like very bogged down in, you know, fantasy and dream and what if this and that and the other. So also just be aware, like, try to pull some of that energy from the earlier in the week, carry that through, and don't get too bogged down in like evaluating everything in your last quarter moon phase of like this and that and the other. Just, you know, let go and let goddess, like she said.
Don't focus on the why though of it all too much, even though that's what the segment's called. Whatever, just don't do it.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Sing it out. Everything I was worried about, cross off. I love it. I really actually do love that.
I know. So that's why though, huh?
That's why though. Yay. Okay. Big witch. We are bringing big witch energy for some reason today. I don't know. We just really are bringing the big witch energy.
Well, the other thing that's funny about that is I'll just say before we started this, I had no big witch energy. I had no witch energy.
I don't even know what time it is. I'm like so confused. I didn't have big witch energy and then small witch energy and like any type of witch energy. I was like tired witch energy, like.
That's not energy, really.
No, I was just like, sleepy witch energy.
Yeah. But now I'm like, big witch energy.
Big witch energy. We decided to just feel ourselves. I don't know what happened. We just did Gemini season.
It is. It's Gemini season. Okay, so what is our big witch energy for?
New moon. Who dis? Taurus. It's because it's Taurus.
It's because it's Taurus.
It's influencing us.
Yeah, maybe. It's that too. I don't know. So, the moon in Taurus.
Yeah.
So, obviously the moon, Taurus is an exalted placement for the moon, which means it's a really lovely, copacetic kind of placement, which, I mean, if you know anything, which we'll tell you if you don't know anything about what the moon symbolizes in general and what Taurus symbolizes in general. And they really kind of work well with each other. So what is the moon? Let's start there.
Yeah, what is the moon?
It's a rock that rotates around the planet Earth.
What is that thing up in the sky?
What is that thing?
We're obsessed with the moon. Your moon sign. Because people talk a lot about sun sign. Maybe this is the first time you're ever watching one of our episodes about this or whatever. So your moon sign is the precise location the moon was in at the time of your birth. And it is one of the major big 3 building blocks of your astrological makeup and personality. And it's an important one. And if you need more information on the big 3, we did an episode on that back last summer in June of 2023. So you can check that out if you need to.
But yes, you are absolutely right. And the moon lets you know about your emotional world, your internal world.
Yep.
Your relationship with emotions.
Yeah.
It is also the placement that gives you insight into mother and mothering experiences in your life. It's about nurturance, and it really is like kind of the interior layer of yourself that you might not wear on your sleeve.
Absolutely.
And not everyone might get to know these parts of you. And depending on what other layers are at play with your sun and your rising and even other planets,
Sure.
the moon might not really come out a lot.
Yeah. And not only might not other people be privy to that or see that, this is also a place of immense like personal growth for you.
Yes.
This is where you're learning to navigate how you process emotions and how you feel safe and secure in those, and how you are navigating those emotions through your relationships and stuff like that. It's a placement in your chart that has the potential for a lot of like personal growth for you. It can also be like frustrating and like, you know, easy to misunderstand and all that kind of stuff. So
definitely. So when we talk about having a moon in Taurus. That's what we're talking about today. So the moon changes signs roughly every 2.5 days.
Yeah.
So unlike, you know, the other planets that stay in a sign for sometimes very, very much longer, but you know, everybody that's born in the same sun in those 30 days or so, you know, you're all going to share the same sun. It makes it likely you're going to also share maybe a Venus or a Mercury placement. But your moon is a real wild card.
Oh, yeah.
So anybody in any sign can have a moon in Taurus. And so, again, like we were saying, that's really going to change the way that some of this stuff shows up. But we're going to try to stick strictly to the energy of the moon in Taurus, however it is interplaying with other planets and other signs.
Yeah, it's very good that you pointed that out. It's important because, yes, everything plays on everything else and all these aspects and everything else. And it is hard for us to, like, just narrow our focus down to this and not look at any other, you know, impressions from other planets or things. But that is what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and so that's also sort of like a caveat to say that what we're saying is accurate in terms of how the moon in Taurus behaves. But if you have a moon in Taurus or someone in your life does, you may not see all of this in this exact way.
Yeah, exactly.
With that person, because there's more at play than just that with them.
Yeah, so take it with a little bit of a grain of salt.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, all right, let's get into it. Let's get
into it.
Yeah.
Taurus is fixed earth energy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's very true. It's very solid.
Yes, very solid. And so when we think about how emotions translate through that, you can see how it wouldn't be that easy.
I know. Yeah. It's crazy because I hate to use the word crazy. People are gonna be like, "It's crazy." No, I'm not saying you're crazy. Okay, just calm down. Just relax. It is a little because it's that, but it also is like very grounded and very strong.
Yes.
So it's both of those things at the same time.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that comes out of how you think about, you know, emotions being like the water element, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of interplaying with this really like kind of granite stone kind of earth, you know, of Taurus. It just time.
Yeah, that's
Time.
Call back.
Time and patience.
Yeah.
For others to have that with them
when
it comes to something that's really emotional, like processing, but also with self, right?
Yes, because, you know, it's earth energy, but it's like the earthiest earth energy.
Yes.
Because it's fixed earth energy. So the focus for a Taurus moon is really going to be creating a comfortable, stable, non-reactive, not being pushed or pulled in any direction type of thing. So very, very fixed on kind of like that idea and just sticking with that, which serves them, you know, or so they sort of interpret, but requires a lot of patience from other people, because that is not how a lot of people operate, or not what they really want to sit there with and witness happen over time.
Definitely.
And I think even themselves, it might be like hard for them to even extend the grace to themselves, you know, to be like, okay, this is just going to take me a little longer to process or to come around to this, because if it's pushing them out of their comfort zone in any way, there's like that immediate like reticence to that.
Yes, and I think that is one of the things. There's almost like this inherent conflict in there, because I think Taurus obviously can be like stubborn is always the classic word, which I kind of hate to use.
Yeah, same.
But it's very committed to, this is what works for me, and this is how I feel safe and stable, and I'm not gonna like be easily swayed out of that.
Yeah.
And so it's like there's that, but then there also is this need, because the moon also sheds light on like places where you need to grow personally and emotionally. Absolutely. And so within that space, there is also this life is going to push them to reevaluate that stuff, to get out of the comfort zone, to open up more. And it's just it's extra not comfortable for them.
Oh yeah, it is extra not comfortable for them. And like, because I think of like, especially with Taurus placement in the moon sign, because of that placement, you're not going to see any of that process. Like, you're not going to see it. Like, it's happening, but like, it's so non-reactive that you're like, are you, hello? Yeah. And they're like, yes, I'm like going through it. And you're like, okay, well, I cannot tell because I don't know what you're doing. And they are, but it's very non-reactive.
Yeah, and it definitely, like Ashley said, doesn't mean nothing's going on in there.
No, it doesn't.
In fact, a lot can be going on in there. I think Taurus energy is also very idealistic.
Oh, yeah.
And romantic and sensitive in a lot of ways that aren't as obvious on the surface, because it's like that tie-in with Venus, which, you know, rules Taurus, of this, you know, kind of beauty and love and all of this, you know. So you can see again this kind of conflict of like all that stuff is in there and it's just kind of like underneath this other layer of protection, you know. And part of the nurturing symbolism of the moon involves protection too.
Absolutely.
So protection of self, you know.
Yeah, and they're you know, as much as there can be sort of the drawbacks we've pointed out to that, right, where, you know, they might struggle with being pushed out of comfort zones that maybe they need to be or whatever. It's a good lesson for other moon signs, sun signs, all these other placements to learn from, like, to nurture yourself and to respect your own boundaries and your own processes, and not to be pushed if people are doing, like, I feel like Taurus moons, I don't think this is talked about a lot. I think this is talked about more with other signs, particularly Scorpio, with like intuitiveness of knowing what people are doing. Yes, but I think Taurus moons have an incredible bullshit meter.
Totally.
And they know if they're being gaslit or being like pushed in any way, like their value system, or sort of, they know, like they can spot a toxic situation from miles away and will not engage in that and be like, okay, yeah, you're not going to tell me what to do. I don't care what you say. Like, I don't care.
And I think it's funny too, because obviously Scorpio is the polarity energy to Taurus. Yes. And so we do have this like reverberation of, you know, these qualities energies, in different ways back and forth.
Absolutely.
Because I also think a Taurus, especially a Taurus moon, and this is where, again, if you are one or if you know someone that is one, this is sort of like advice or a warning of like, they can be very, very long suffering.
Oh yeah.
They can really put up with a lot. I mean, exactly what you said. They might see it, but they might be like, well, but I'm not going to do anything about it yet.
Yeah.
And sometimes they stay too long, but when they're gone, I can't snap my fingers because of my fingernails, but when they're gone, they're gone.
By the way.
Thank you. No, when they're gone, they're gone. When they're done, they are done.
Yeah, because I think, and now that you're like, reminding me, like, that's the polarity, right? And I'm thinking about, like, the differences between the two. Like, it's obviously Scorpio is the same way, but I feel like Taurus energy is to evaluate and make sense of, and there's just a whole, I don't know, it's just a very different energy. So they will put up with it, so to speak, like, because it really isn't personally impacting them the way it would a Scorpio. A Scorpio would be like, oh, hell no, like that's it. Like,
yes, because a Taurus is, I think, more protected.
Yeah.
You know, especially if that's the moon placement. It's very much built up around, no, nobody gets to see this.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't have to show this, and I won't, you know?
And like, you may think that that's happening, but you don't actually know. So whatever, you can think whatever you want. And then, yeah.
And I think in terms of, I always like to think about, you know, mother and mothering, which of course is symbolized by the moon, but thinking about how, you know, this can influence the way you experience mothering as a child. Or if you're a human who becomes a mother, what you might naturally tend towards in your style of mothering, you know, children if you have them. So I just feel like this is going to be a really rich, beautiful place. And it doesn't mean it's all positive or all negative for that matter. But I think if you are a mother or you have a mother with a moon in Taurus, you're going to feel very safe.
Yeah.
You're going to feel very taken care of. You're going to feel like that person is always there for you. Or if you're that person, it's very important to you that the people, the children that you're mothering, know that you're always there for them. That you know, like that earth energy, you're sort of constant and unchanging, but then still changing too, because the earth isn't a stagnant thing.
That's absolutely right. And there's seasons, and I feel like there's just more of like an embracing of that. Like, we're going to weather these things together.
Yes. Yeah.
And it might be hard, cold ground in winter right now, but I'm still here, and like things are still germinating, and like, don't worry, and we're going to come back. Like, you're going to have another dawn, you know?
Yes. Yeah. No, and that's so sweet. And it kind of brings in that theme of time again, you know? Like, things change and they stay the same, you know? And I think earth energies, and I feel like Taurus in particular, really embody that message, you know?
I'm really glad you said that, because I think a lot of times when people focus on earth, like imagery, and think about like the energy of like an earth sign, they neglect the changeable nature of it. Like, usually what's focused on is like the stability and the unchanging nature of it.
Right.
Sort of the ground, or like the mountains that like don't change for like centuries of time or whatever. Which, that's a thing. But also, you're pointing out something really important, is that there's constant small change all the time, which is big change over time. And it's like, there's an embracing of that. And there's like, not just embracing, but a joy found in that.
Yes. No, I think you're right. I love that you said a joy found in that, because I think that's absolutely right. And, you know, you can also see or hear how, you know, with trauma, intergenerational trauma that may be inflicted by parents, you know, how a kid or a person can have that joy really stripped away from them and become, you know, very closed off, and kind of like the version that we were talking about a little bit before, where they're very, very protected. So again, if you know, or if you are a moon in Taurus and you find yourself really uncomfortable with emotions, or that person that you know that you sense that about them, again, just patience and time and respect, because they will evolve. It has to be in their own way. They're very resistant to being pushed or made into something that they're not ready to be yet, but they're going to be everything that they need to be eventually.
It's such a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
it's a really nice placement. I like it.
I know.
I enjoy it.
I may or may not be married to someone with a moon in Taurus.
You may or may not be.
That's right.
Yeah.
Up to you to decide.
We'll never know.
Schrodinger's marriage. That's what I have.
That's great. I like that. That's amazing. That's perfect. Yes. I mean, I also think like there's so much you can learn from Taurus moons. I feel like they are the kings and queens of self-care. Like, if you need like skincare recommendations, right? You need the best, like, luxurious, like, brunch spot to go to. You need, like, what is the best snack at the store right now that is, like, so indulgent and so good and, like, you need to have it? Like, what's out at Trader Joe's that, like, you have to get? I don't know. I feel like a Taurus moon is going to know. They will know. They'll be like, you need this serum. You need these chocolate-covered strawberries. You need to go here for brunch. You need to order this dish. You need to order this cocktail and then this other dish.
Yeah, and I also think, I mean, and it's a version of exactly what you're saying. Like, little treats.
Little treat.
Like,
yes.
That's them. They're like, oh, I got you this little treat. Or, oh, I got myself this little treat. You know? Like,
yes.
Little treats.
I love the little treat. Yes, because I really do feel like it's kind of calling back to something that you said earlier, which is something I don't think is talked about a lot with Taurus, especially Taurus moon. They romanticize that. They romanticize their lives. Like, you see these little TikToks or Instagrams, right, that people make where they're like, romanticize your life. Like, light the good candle or, like, you know, do the things that, like, make your little everyday routines, like, a little bit more special, a little bit more luxurious. Like, that is Taurus moon energy to a T. Like,
totally.
They do light their good candles, and they'll remind you to do the same.
Well, yeah, and I also feel like they're not gonna light a candle if it's not good.
That,
you know?
Yes.
And I mean that literally and symbolically. Like, if a Taurus moon is investing time and energy in you, it's because they believe that you're worth it.
Oh, yeah.
And they would not settle for less. In fact, they definitely don't settle for less.
No, that's a really good point. The high standards,
yes,
there is something we didn't talk about, and that up to now, and that is, that's a thing, like the high standards for themselves and for others.
Yes.
But yes, and in all kinds of things, like they really do like things that are luxurious, and that doesn't always mean expensive. A lot of times it does, but it doesn't always.
It's just things that are like, the best that they can be for whatever that is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, or just the favorite. Like, even if someone else doesn't agree with it, it's like, well, this is my favorite. I don't care if you don't like it.
And they'll know your favorite. They will know
that is
favorite.
true too.
Mm-hmm.
That is true too.
And they'll find it, and they'll find like a different version of it, and they'll like get it.
Yes.
Yeah, I know, amazing.
No, and this is that kind of nurturing and that sensitivity that really does come out if you have a close relationship with a person with a Taurus moon.
I love this.
I know. It's so sweet. And then you can really, again, start to see how the moon is really exalted in Taurus.
It's so cute.
She's like, let me love on you.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you'd be like, okay.
Okay, I guess so.
Yeah. You feel super special, you know?
Great.
Yeah. No, it really is.
I hope they feel special. I hope you feel special if you're watching this. I hope you do.
No, you should.
Amazing.
Because I also think, I mean, like we're saying, the moon's exalted in Taurus is all this lovely, but it's not all easy and sunshine and roses either, you know? Like, we've already touched on a few of those things. And just to say, like, sometimes they can become a little bit greedy or selfish, too, when they're in that protected mode. Sometimes it's hard for them to apologize.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that has to do with not really wanting to, like, admit to having hurt you.
Yeah.
So they just kind of like, you know, and don't want to like approach it and say sorry. But that's an important thing to learn to do. And that is a way to love yourself and love the people you love, is to apologize when you've done something that you regret, you know?
Yeah. And you know, you bring up like the mothering aspect and stuff too. Like I would say that there might be a tendency to like, for them to feel like they know the right way and sort of the right approach and how, you know, their children should be approaching things, doing things, whatever. And it's like, yeah, you might, but also they have to learn that for themselves, and it's okay to kind of let them do that. And if you are a little overbearing about it, you know, people aren't probably going to react well to that. And it's okay to step back and say you're sorry for doing that and everything.
Totally.
And probably is necessary to do, because we know you love us, but like sometimes it might be stifling a little bit.
No, and I think it's always so fascinating. I think all of astrology and learning about astrology, especially personal astrology, like your own chart and the charts of the people you love, is so much sort of a lesson or a path in becoming more compassionate and aware of self.
Yeah.
And then of other people. And so, you know, there's like unique content of what all of that is per person.
Yeah.
But that's what we're all doing. We're all on this journey of like discovering ourselves and accepting ourselves and letting our guard down so that we can let people in and things like that. So I think that's really just, it is very evident in the Moon and Taurus kind of journey, I think.
This is great.
I know. I like it.
It's just like lovely energy.
I like it too.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Same.
Okay. Is there anything else we want to say about this?
My goodness, I don't think so.
No, I think that's enough. And I mean, there's always more to say, but I think that's enough. And I feel really good about it.
So do I. Yes.
So in that case, until next time,
Stay witchy, friends.
and stay dumb.
Dumb Witch Club is written and hosted by us, Ashley Sidner.
And Jackie Gerard at the Dumb Witch Clubhouse in Orange County, California.
Produced and edited by Matt Heinemeyer. Art direction by Violet Turner. Culture consultant Jane Turner.
Original music by Ashley Sidner. Look us up on all your favorite social media platforms, including TikTok and Patreon.
Until next time, stay witchy, friends.
And stay dumb.